Great. Okay, it's past, so we're going to make a start. Hi, everybody. I'm Hayley. You haven't met me before, but I'm going to be leading this class for the next few weeks because unfortunately your teacher that you usually have can't make the classes at the moment. So I get the fun of having you, which is great. I've been really looking forward to meeting you all. So turn your cameras on, and I'm expecting 9 of you, which is very exciting. And hopefully we can get to know each other a little bit better because we've not met before. So turning on camera and muting yourself. Yep. Hold on, Lynn. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to choose Calson first. Calson, hello. Hello, Calson. Hi, Calson. Can you turn on your can you unmute?
Hi, teacher.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well.
Yeah, good. And tell me a bit about yourself, Calson. You're the first one. I've chosen you at random there. So maybe you could tell me how old you are, where you live, something you like doing. Maybe I'll start actually, and then you can have a go afterwards. Okay. So I'm Hayley. I live in England. I live near London, quite near to London. Put your hand if you've been to London before, or anywhere in England. Anybody? No. Okay. Put your hand if you'd like to go to England or Britain, somewhere in Great Britain. And use all your English. Not sure yet. Okay. Yeah, so I've been tutoring for and teaching in the classroom for quite a long time. And so, yeah, I've been doing another class for Dunville as well, but now I'm going to get to see you guys over the next few weeks, which is brilliant. So Calson, do you want to have a go at going next then? You can tell us your name, age, and something about you.
Hi, teacher. My name is Johnson and I'm 17 years old. And I love to play basketball.
Oh, basketball. Ah, lovely. It's not really something of the sport that I play actually, but I do quite like watching it. Do you have a favorite team?
Do you mean NBA team?
Ah, great. And do you play or just watch?
Sorry?
Do you play and watch basketball or just play basketball?
I play basketball.
Play basketball as well. Ah, brilliant. How long have you been playing for?
For about 5 years.
5 years. Wow, that's a long time. You must be pretty good. Brilliant. All right. Nice to meet you, Calson. Hi, Chong.
Hi, teacher.
Is it okay to just call you Chong, or do you want me to? Was it Chong Kia?
It's okay if you call me Chong.
Chong, lovely. And tell me about yourself, Chong.
I'm 17 this year.
Okay, lovely.
I'm from Malaysia, Sabah, Malaysia. And I really like reading and drawing.
Oh, reading and drawing, brilliant. What sort of books do you like reading?
Usually fantasy books.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like fantasy as well, actually. Great. Have to see some of your drawings sometime. That sounds good. Brilliant. Thanks for sharing, Chong. Hi, Dani Asri. Is that how you say your name?
Yes, teacher. Hi.
Dani Asri. Great. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, good. And tell me about yourself then.
Well, I'm 13 years old and I'm from Penang, Malaysia. I like swimming and dancing ballet.
Oh, great. And do you do swimming lessons or do you just go swimming for fun?
I go for swimming lessons.
Oh, amazing. Well done. And do you do ballet lessons as well?
Yes.
Oh, wow. They're really good interests to have. Great. I enjoy swimming as well, actually, but I don't do it professionally or anything like that. Just go for some exercise. Lovely. How are you, Jashria?
I'm fine, teacher. Thank you.
Did I say your name right? Jashria?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Nice to meet you. Tell me about yourself.
I'm 13 and I'm from Penang, Malaysia.
Mm-hmm.
I love making origamis and I also like dancing ballet.
Oh, great. Oh, that sounds really good. Yeah, origami. I haven't done that for a long time. That sounds good. Hi, Eugene. Or is
Hi,
it
teacher.
Eugenie? Is it Eugene?
Yes, Eugene.
Eugene, great. And how are you, Eugene?
I'm well, teacher.
Oh, good. And tell me about yourself.
I'm from Malaysia, Sabah, and I like drawing animate characters. I can show you.
Oh, oh, wow. Whoa, that's really good. Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And I
impressive.
love watching Netflix.
Watching Netflix. Yeah, that's always good, isn't it? Nice way to relax. Oh, me too. Chong and Eugene, have you shown each other your drawings before? You have
Yeah, we're
before
in the
as well,
same
yeah.
class.
Oh, right. Oh, that's good then. Oh, amazing. Do you draw in the same style, Chong? No. What style of
no.
drawing do you do?
I prefer watercolor painting.
And I
Watercolor
prefer
painting.
sketching.
Oh, okay. Great. Well, that's good to have different skills in the class. That's good. And Lynn, that's fine. So I've just got your message in the chat box. That's fine. But tell me about yourself. Hold on, was it muting as well?
Hello, teacher. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you today?
I'm not so good.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you feeling a bit unwell?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you start feeling better soon. Well done for still joining the class. That's pretty dedicated. Well done. And tell me about yourself.
I'm 20 and I'm from Kedah, Malaysia.
Oh, great. And what are you interested in?
Playing badminton.
Oh, phone's ringing. We need to pick that one up.
Sorry, teacher. Can I ask this for 3 minutes?
Okay. Yeah, you can sort that out, but we'll speak to you later. Anyway, so I thought it was good. Thank you for taking a few minutes there to introduce yourselves. I thought it'd be important to just get to know each other a little bit as we're going to be working together for the next few weeks. But I have seen that you've been doing lots of super work already, obviously, because you're near the end of your course. And so you're quite far through your book. So we're going to continue with Unit 12 today, the Animal Kingdom. So you can find the page you were on that you finished on last week. So I believe you finished on page 129, 128. Let me just check it again. Hold on. 129 you finished on. So we're going to be continuing from there today. You can help me out with kind of your usual routines and things. And if there's anything you feel we should be doing that you usually do, but hopefully you've got it all under control. So let's just review what you learned so far last week then. So thinking about Unit 12, the Animal Kingdom, maybe you could think about, so you could look back through your books to help with this. Maybe you can think about some new vocabulary that you learned last week, or perhaps a fact about the Animal Kingdom that you didn't know before, or both. You can tell me new vocabulary and something about the Animal Kingdom that you learnt last week. So have a little think about that. Take a couple of minutes, go back through those pages that you were working on last week. And then when you're ready, you can put your hand up and we'll start hearing from you. So is anyone ready to share? New word or new fact from last week? Maybe you knew it all already. Maybe you could explain that as well.
Ready?
Oh, great. Thank you, Eugene. Go on then. You can be the first.
I've learned about how zebras recognize each other.
Oh, okay. And how is that?
They recognize each other by their stripes, and each zebra have their own different stripes.
Ah, so is each zebra is unique. You could say use the word unique for that.
Yeah.
So you'll never find two sets of zebra stripes the same, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty fascinating. So and they use that to help to recognize each other.
Yeah.
Wow, brilliant. That's a really interesting fact. Thanks for sharing, Eugene. Well done. Is anybody else ready to share? Danny Asri? Perhaps?
For me, it was the same thing. But another thing I want to add is that male and female zebras also have different stripes, as in their thickness of the stripe is different, and
Mhm.
that's how we differentiate whether they are a male or female, so that they can mate.
Ah, I see. All right, great. I'm learning as well today. I didn't know that. Great, thank you, Danny Astri. How about you, Chong? Anything new to add?
I learned that hippos are easily frightened
Mm-hmm.
and
And
that
so by what, for example? Anything
by
in particular?
anything, they are easily frightened by anything,
Oh, really?
even if a man just stands near its habitat, it will be easily frightened.
And what does it do when it's frightened? Does it attack or does it retreat?
It attacks.
Attacks. All right. So
Yeah.
good to know. Not to go near. Were you going to add something else?
Not really.
No. Okay. Brilliant. Thanks for sharing. Jashria.
Yes, teacher. I learned about lecture about animal rights. It's that zoos should be closely supervised.
Mm-hmm. And what does it mean by being close? What do you mean? What does that mean by being closely supervised?
So that because if let's say if we don't take care of them, they might if let's say we did not lock the cage, they might even come out from the cage, and and also they might if we don't closely supervise them, they might not get enough food, and we wouldn't know if they are starving or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they should be closely supervised.
Great. And did you learn that phrase last week, to be closely supervised?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. Well done for putting that into your spoken language today. That's really impressive, Jashria. Well done. And so that's interesting as well, isn't it? That for their own safety and for our safety, they need to be closely supervised. That's a really interesting fact, Jashria. Thank you. Calson, you seem to have disappeared. Do you want to turn your camera back on and share your fact if you have one?
I learned about camels.
Could you say that again, Calson? It wasn't very clear.
I learned about camels.
Okay, so think about your level of English and extending your answer as well now. So try and say what you learnt about and a bit more information. So what exactly did you learn about them?
Camels store fat in their humps, which can be used as an energy source.
It was quite noisy in the background there, Calson, but what was it that could be used as an energy source? That sounded interesting.
Teacher, can you say it one more time?
Oh, I didn't get that, Cal. So maybe check your sound settings. It was a bit echoey, but we'll come back to you. Perhaps you could write it in the chat box for now. Okay, but well done, everyone. Lynn, you could write yours in the chat box as well, please. But that's great. Looks like you've really remembered everything that you learned last week. And that's really good for me as well to have a few extra facts and know what you studied last week. So we'll start to work through the rest of Unit 12 now. So on page 129, we've got the vocabulary section. So we're going to start by having a look at these words that are in, or phrases that are in this box here. So you've got this in your book as well. And then we're going to be using them to complete the sentences. So let's just discuss these first. Perhaps they're new, or maybe you studied some of these last week, because I can see closely supervised in there. So maybe you've already gone through these. Always worth going through things again. So let's see if somebody can explain. We'll take it in turns to see if we can explain these words already. Sometimes the best way of explaining them is to try and use them in a sentence as well, to try and explain. So hands up, you can use your virtual hand or your real one if you know, if you could explain the word avoid. How might we use the word avoid? Any ideas? So if you're avoiding something, it means that you're trying not to do something. You're making sure you don't do it, you're avoiding it. So it could be that you want to avoid an accident from happening, and therefore you make sure you don't drive when you're tired, for example. Or maybe somebody doesn't want to do something, so they avoid it. So a child might avoid doing their homework. They might try and get out of doing it. We want to not do something. So if you were avoiding something at all costs, so maybe the advice might be avoid scaring the hippos at all costs. What might that mean? Any ideas? Avoid at all costs.
Teacher, is it staying away like from hippos?
You could use that, yeah, you could use that as the example. So you stay away at all costs, meaning like regardless of the price to be paid. So no matter what, it's a bit like saying no matter what, at all costs. So no matter what happens, at all costs, no matter the price to be paid, you must stay away. Then you might want to check something or check it carefully to make that even stronger. So we had closely supervise already. So to watch closely, to keep a close eye on, or to watch very carefully. So then what would heavily protect mean? So again, you could break it down. You could think of the word protect and heavily separately, and then try and put the two together. Any ideas? Heavily protect.
Is it to heavily protect endangered species?
You could use it in that way. Well done, Chong. Very good. So it's really just making the word protect even stronger. We're not just protecting them, we're heavily protecting them. We're putting in even more measures to protect them. And it's like a much stronger form of protection. Well done, Chong. So if you narrowly avoid something, what does that mean? So for example, if you were to scare the hippos and they run after you and you just manage to get away, you have narrowly avoided a hippo attack. It was really close to happening, but you narrowly avoided it. You only just got away. You only just stopped it from happening. Or if somebody was driving in their car and another car came really close, but you didn't quite hit each other, you've narrowly avoided an accident because you've just missed it. So then similar to heavily protect, we also have properly protect. So what do we think properly protect might mean, and how is it different to heavily protect? Any ideas? I can see you all having a good think. That's good. So if you do something properly, what are you doing when you're doing something properly?
You're focused.
You're very focused. Yeah, you're doing something well. So it's the same with protecting. If you properly protect something, you're protecting it well. It's good protection. It's everything you need. You're not missing anything out. You're properly protecting it. So two more. You're doing well. Thank you, Danny Ashry, as well for that one. So you might want to strictly control something. So by using the word strictly, it's that you're not giving people much option. You have to do it very strictly. We have to stick to the rules, and you're controlling it very strictly. There isn't much room for change or doing things differently. Really strictly controlling it. And then if you successfully prevent something, so to be successful is you've achieved something. If you prevent something, you stop it from happening. So if you were to if you were to put measures in place to stop something from happening, you're successfully preventing it from happening. We're going to see some examples though now. So it will put it all into, it should help to clear it up a little bit, because you'll be able to see the meanings of these words in context now. So we're going to do the first exercise now in your book. So on page 130, sorry, you've got all of these phrases in the book that we just went through. And then you're going to complete number 3. So it now gives you examples, and you can have a go at using these in the sentences. So let's try a few together, because you've got a few questions here. It goes down to number 8. So we'll do perhaps 1 or 2 together. So Chong, could you read number 1, please?
Ben successfully prevented the bear from attacking them by making a lot of noise.
Great, well done. So successfully prevented the, meaning that he has stopped the bear from attacking. Great job, Chong, well done. So he has successfully prevented, very good. Now we need the past tense, prevented the bear from attacking them by making a lot of noise. Great. Danny Asri, do you want to try number 2?
Juan narrowly avoided an accident when a dog ran in front of the car.
Great, well done, good. So you seem to have got the hang of these words and phrases already, everybody, well done. So narrowly avoided. So he just missed crashing into the dog when it ran in front of the car. He's narrowly avoided an accident when a dog ran in front of the car. So it seems like you have got the hang of these already. So I'm going to let you work independently now. So just finish off the rest of those up to number 8. So we'll stop in about 5 minutes, maybe less. We'll see how you're getting on. You seem pretty confident. Okay, has anybody not finished those? Anyone not finished? Okay, great. Let's go through it then in that case. Okay, so all good. Everyone's writing in the chat box as well. Very helpful. Thank you. We're a very helpful bunch. So let's go through these answers then. So number 3, Eugene.
Rhinos are an endangered species and need to be properly protected by game wardens.
Good, properly protected. Very good. Okay, Calson, number 4, please. Calson, are you there, number 4?
Strictly controlled.
So read the whole sentence.
The number of visitors to the game reserve is strictly controlled to avoid upsetting the enemies.
Great. Okay, strictly controlled. So they're not going to make any changes. They're not going to say, oh, okay, we'll let 10 extra people in today. It's strictly controlled. They don't change that. Great. Jashria, do number 5, please.
Tourists visiting the park need to be closely supervised to make sure they don't go near the wild animals.
Very good. Well done. That's correct. How about number 6, Lynn? So we've got 2 gaps there.
Used heavily, you should avoid crossing the river at all costs as the current was very as the current can be very strong.
Good, well done. Number 7, back to Chong.
You need to check your route carefully on the map before you start, as you could easily get lost.
Good. So route, British English route. And number 8, please, Danny Ashry.
The camp is heavily protected with a high fence and an alarm to prevent dangerous animals from getting in.
Brilliant. Well done. Well done, everybody. So if there were any that you hadn't got right there, just switch those over. Does anybody want to go through any of those words or phrases again before we move on? Is there any confusion there at all? Or are we all right? You can give me a smile if you're all right. Oh, good. Danny Ashry's smiling at me, tells me she's all good. All good. Great. All right. Well, that's brilliant. Wow, you're working very quickly. Very good. Let's move on then. And we're going to focus on our grammar next. So we're going to be focusing on the third conditional and mixed conditionals, but I think it's worth going through each of the conditionals just to check that we have remembered them. So Danny Ashry, tell me, have you as a class studied the conditionals recently?
Teacher, I'm not very sure. I don't exactly remember.
That's all right. But that tells me that maybe we need to go over them again. Is there anybody who thinks you have? Okay, in that case, that would be a good revision then, or a good learning if you're not sure of what they are. So they're really useful structures in grammar that tell us what would happen if something else were to happen. So it's using if to explain present events, past events, future events, and that's the difference between them. So we're going to go through each one and just see the difference between them. So we won't do the book straight away. We'll go through the conditionals first, just to make sure you've got a good understanding of these. So I've just shared the wrong screen actually, but here is the first conditional. So the first conditional is the simplest one. So you can use if plus the simple present plus the simple future, hence why it's quite straightforward, because you'll know those tenses pretty well by now at this level. So it's to talk about possibilities in the present or in the future, and they're things that can happen. So for example, if it rains, I will stay at home. And the fact that it might rain is very possible. If I wake up late, I will miss the bus. Can anybody else add one? So remember, it's using if plus simple present plus simple future. You can also switch the order. So you could say, I will stay at home if it rains. I will miss the bus if I wake up late. Any other examples? So think about real things that could happen. So if I get home late, I will miss my online class. What else could it be?
Teacher, can I try?
Go for it.
If I'm not well, I would not come to school. I won't come to school, sorry.
I will not come to school. Yep. Good.
Yes.
Well done. Because it's the simple, well, you can say won't. Yeah, I won't come to school. Yeah, will not, won't. It's just a contraction, isn't it? Great. Good idea. Yes, well done. If I am unwell, we'd probably say rather than not well. Still makes sense, but unwell is the word for it that's was more commonly used. Very good example there, Danny Ashry. Well done. Any other examples? Okay, in that case, I'm going to get you participating. Chong, here's the start of your sentence. If I go to bed late,
I will wake up late.
oh, okay. So you'll sneak in the extra sleep somewhere. You won't be tired. I was going to say, if I go to bed late, I'll be tired in the morning because I have to get up at a certain time. But there you go. You can catch up on your sleep in the morning. Eugene, if I burn the dinner,
Burn the dinner.
if I burn the dinner, what will happen?
I don't really understand.
So you're finishing that. You're going to try and finish the sentence now. So, for example, if I burn the dinner, I will not enjoy eating it.
Oh, it's like overcook.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I can
So-
try another sentence.
You can try a new one. Yeah. So, can you think of one? A whole one?
If I didn't take my dad's phone, I will get scolded.
Okay. So if I don't take it, do you mean if I don't pick it up to answer a call?
If I don't pick up my dad's call, I will get scolded.
Oh dear. Okay. Thank you, Eugene. Calson?
Here, can I try?
Oh, yep. Jump in there. Go for it.
If I don't have a snack, I might faint.
Ah, there we go. Yes. I like that you've used might as well, because we don't know for sure. Good. Chong? Not Chong, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong person here. Going up to the next camera. Calson.
Yes, teacher.
Did you do yours? That was Eugene that did the phone one, wasn't it? Calson, your turn. So maybe you could say, if I don't do my homework,
If I don't train, I might lose the game.
if I don't train, I might lose the game. There you go. The important basketball match. Very good, Calson. Great. So the first conditional is fairly straightforward. It's things that can happen as a result of something else. So then we've got the second and the third conditionals. I think we'll go through it on this one actually. So we'll just work our way through some. We might not do the whole thing, but we'll go through most of this and come up with some more examples. So let's see if we can see the difference here now. So hold on, did try this earlier. There we go. So we've got the third conditional, which is going back in time to the past. This is the one that's going to be in your book that you're going to be practicing today. And the mixed conditional, we'll have a look at that as well. So you're going to, we've done the first and second, sorry, we've done the first, we'll look at the second, we'll look at the third conditionals, and then we'll have a go at the ones in your book. So we've done the first conditional. So the second conditional, it's now looking at the past tense, using the past tense. If it was sunny, and now we've got, instead of I would go to the beach. So it's not actually something that has happened. It's the past tense. If it was sunny, I would go to the beach, but it's not sunny. So you're imagining a time in the present or future. So then we have the third conditional, which is when we want to imagine doing something or changing something in the past. So we'll have a look at how this looks as well. So we've got if, then we have the past perfect. We're going to look at the examples of this, so don't worry if you're not sure. Plus would have, plus participle. So this is definitely more challenging because it's like we're also changing what would have happened. So for example, if it had been sunny yesterday, I would have gone to the beach. So it's not something we can actually do. It's saying what we would have done had we have had this particular condition. So here we've got the past perfect, had been, plus the would, plus have, plus the participle again, gone, would have gone. So let's have a look at some more examples. We can see the different ways we can construct it as well. So if she had come round yesterday, I would have given her the book she wants to read. But she didn't come round yesterday, so she didn't. But it's just saying, this is what I would have done if I'd have had the chance. If I had done my homework, I wouldn't have had a detention. But it's too late, I didn't do my homework and I've had a detention. But I'm now thinking, oh, I wish I had have done. So who thinks they're ready to have a go at this one? If you are, just unmute and you can have a go at a sentence.
Teacher, I can try.
Okay, good. Great for it. Great. Eugene, go for it.
If I wouldn't playing too much games yesterday, I would have finished my homework.
Great. You're nearly there, but you just need to change. I think you said wouldn't, but the first one you need had. So if I hadn't, I can't remember what you said now, Eugene, say it again.
If I wouldn't,
Hadn't.
if I hadn't played too much games last night, I would have finished my homework.
Great. And then there's just one other quick change. So if I hadn't played too many rather than too much, too many games is the number of games, too many. Whereas if there's a quantity that you, much and many, I'm going to look at a better way of explaining that. We'll come back to that. If I hadn't played too many games last night, what was the end of it, Eugene? Sorry.
Actually, I mean playing a game for too long, not playing multiple games.
Okay, so if I hadn't played too many games last night, if I hadn't played games all night, maybe you could say all night, or for too long last night. If I hadn't played games all night, and we don't really need last night. If I hadn't played games all night, I
would have finished my homework.
Would have finished my homework. Great, well done, Eugene. So a few mistakes to learn from there, but hopefully you've got it for the next time round. I would have finished my homework. Okay, so maybe you could all have a think now of a real example. Is there something you wish you'd have done that maybe you didn't? You made a bit of a mistake, and now you're thinking, oh, I wish I'd have done that. So if I had gone for a walk this morning, this is my one. If I had gone for a walk this morning, I would be feeling more energetic this afternoon because I've been sitting down most of the day. So I think I'd have been feeling less tired if I'd have gone for a walk. Jashria, do you think you're okay to have a go at this yet?
Can you repeat what you just said?
Would you like to have a go?
I'm not sure. I'm still thinking.
Still thinking. Okay. Is anybody else ready to have a go? All right, let's work through a few more examples and then maybe you'll feel ready after that. So we've got all three conditionals now. So we've got the first conditional, if it is sunny, I will go to the beach. Second conditional, past tense. If it was sunny, I would go to the beach. Third conditional, past tense and what we would change. If it had been sunny yesterday, I would have gone to the beach. So there's slight differences between the three, isn't there? So it's quite tricky to go between all three of them. So the third conditional, our main focus for today is imagining doing or changing something, as we said. So let's see if you can fill in this one. So those of you who weren't sure, we've got a bit of a structure here now to help. So if I, something alive 2,000 years ago, oh, this is an interesting one. I, something a Roman. What could that one be? Unfortunately, it's cutting off the instructions at the bottom where we've got how to form it. Oh, might be able to see it now. So if plus the past perfect plus would have plus the participle. Can anybody fill this one in?
Teacher, can I try?
Yes, yes, please.
If I was still alive 2,000 years ago, I would have been a Roman.
I would have been a Roman is correct, but change the first one because you have to have if plus the past perfect, which has had. If I had
been alive.
That's it. Well done. Very good, Daniastri. Well done. Great. Yeah, there we go. We would have been Romans if we had been alive 2,000 years ago. Very good. Okay, let's try this one then. So we've got if and we've got a thief, run faster, police, not catch, him. How are we going to put that together using the third conditional? Something that could have happened in the past that didn't, but we're just thinking what could have happened. Or maybe you think you can do half of the sentence. You can add that as well. Chong, how are you feeling about this?
If the thief had ran faster, the police would not have caught him.
Very good. I think the only thing that needed to change there was the run. What do we say? If the thief had run faster, you've got past participle rather than ran, which is the simple past tense. Great though, Chong. Well done. You got the idea of this. Very good. So if the thief had run faster, the police wouldn't have caught him. Great. Aha, there's another one. We've got if Titanic miss iceberg, it not sink. Put it all together in the third conditional. Carlson, you've been a bit quiet. Do you want to have a go?
I'm still thinking. Teacher.
Still thinking. Eugene?
If iceberg miss if the ice, should I add some words?
You got to add some words. Yeah, this is just giving you the general idea.
If the iceberg had missed Titanic, it would
keep going.
Have not sink.
It would
Is it
not
right?
have. It would not have sunk is the past participle. So I would put it the other way round as well, because the iceberg didn't miss the Titanic. The Titanic is the thing that could move. So that's the one that would miss it. So if the Titanic had missed the iceberg, it would not have sunk. So you were very nearly there, Eugene. Well done. Very good. It's quite a hard construction, isn't it? Structure. So what was I going to say? Oh, it's gone out of my head. It will come back to me in a minute, I'm sure. So here it is. Oh, I was going to say people could use the third conditional to learn from their mistakes. So we know that if the Titanic had missed the iceberg, it wouldn't have sunk. So therefore, people driving boats will learn from that. They know they need to look out for things, listen to the warnings because they ignored the warnings. So let's leave that for now, and we'll have a go at doing the exercises in your book so that you can all have a go at applying that now. So let's go back to this section. Oh gosh, look at the hippo there. Definitely want to avoid scaring them at all costs. So these sentences are from listening part 1, which I believe you did at the end of last week's lesson. And you're going to decide whether the statements, first of all, are true or false. And as you will notice, they are using the third conditional. So if he hadn't reacted quickly, the hippo would have killed him. So there's an example of the third conditional. Do we think that is true or false? Sorry, number 1 to 3 are true or false, sorry. So about the third conditional, just reread that. So number 1, the man reacted quickly. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes, it is true. Good, because it's saying if he hadn't reacted quickly, but he did. Well done. So that one is true. Chong, read number 2, please.
The hippo killed him.
So is that true or false?
False.
Exactly, because he did get away, but if he hadn't, the hippo would have killed him, but he didn't. Number 3, please. Danny Asri.
The speaker is talking about the past. True.
Exactly. Yes. Third conditional, we're talking about what could have happened in the past that didn't happen. Very good. Okay. So let's have a look at number 2 now then. So these sentences, answer the question, sorry. So, Kelson, read us A.
I think if they had more acrobats, would have enjoyed the circus more.
Okay, I think if they'd had more acrobats, we'd have enjoyed the circus more. Okay, and then you've got, I think if they had more acrobats, we'd enjoy the circus more. So this one is using the third conditional. This one isn't. We would enjoy the circus more. I think this is using the first condition, actually, isn't it? I think if they had more acrobats, we'd enjoy the circus more. Okay, so here's the challenging bit. We have to decide which sentence, A or B, means they don't have enough acrobats, so we don't enjoy the circus very much. Do you think that was A or B, Chong?
A.
A, exactly. If they'd had more acrobats, but which they didn't, we would have enjoyed it more. So therefore, they didn't have enough, and so they didn't enjoy it very much. Very good. So we'll stop there on our working together, and I would like you to answer questions 2 to 7 by yourselves. So it's checking that you understand the construction of the third conditional, the structure of the third conditional, and then we will stop. We'll go through the answers, we'll stop, and we'll have a break before we move on to number 3. But good job so far, everyone. So probably the easiest thing to just tell me in the chat box when you've finished that exercise, then I can check. 3, just seeing who else. 4, 5, 6. There's usually 9 of you, isn't there? I had one message. Okay, how are we all getting on? Does anybody have any questions? All right, is there anybody who's not finished? Okay, great. Well, let's go through those as well then. So we know that A is number 1. So you can read the sentence and the answer, please, Carlson.
B.
Read the sentence as well, please, Carlson.
They didn't have enough acrobats, so we didn't enjoy the circus very much. B.
Not B, no.
Okay.
Hold on a second. They don't have enough acrobats. So we don't enjoy the circus very much. I think if they'd had more acrobats, so because more. They didn't have enough acrobats, so we didn't enjoy the circus very much. Is A again. Okay. Just checking what number 1 again. They don't have enough acrobats, so we don't enjoy the circus very much. Is actually, apologies, that is actually B. There's a slight difference there because it's saying we don't enjoy the circus very much. That's present. We'd have enjoyed the circus more is past. So therefore here, we'd enjoy the circus more is present. So spot the tenses as well. That caught me out. Okay, so thank you, Carlson. That was A. Number 3, please, Eugene.
It's B.
It is B. Good, well done. So if it has if plus past simple plus would plus infinitive, that's it. Very good. Number 4 has if plus past perfect plus would have plus been, done, enjoyed, etc. Chong, which one is it?
A.
A, very good. Okay. Number 5, please. Who hasn't had a go? Danny Astri.
is second conditional? Is it B?
It's B. Yes, good. Very good, because remember the third conditional has got the had and have. That's a quick way of spotting it. The third conditional then must be A. And then number 7, please, Jashria.
Is it A?
It's A. Good. So they're both using the third conditional. Well done. Very good. All right. Well, I think we've had a great start so far. It's done just under an hour. So I think it's a good place there to stop and have a break. And we're going to keep going through the conditionals after the break because it is quite a tricky formation. So we're going to keep going through the third conditional and so on. So Jashria, do you normally get 5 minutes or 10 minutes for your break? I forgot to check this.
We usually get 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a good break. You sure?
Yeah.
Great. All right. Brilliant. I will give you 15 minutes then. Do we definitely all need 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I usually only give 5 minutes, so you've got a good teacher there giving you a nice long break. All right. Well, I will do the same. I wouldn't want to be, told that I'm working you all too hard or anything like that. So better give you the same break. But I'll see you in 15 minutes then. In that case. So we'll start again at 1:45. Okay. So have a good break, everybody, and I will see you then. I'll put a timer on actually, and then we'll know. But you can go now if you like. Great. Okay, so time is up, everyone. Hope you've had a good break. Oh, great. So we're very prompt getting your cameras back on. Well done. Raring to go. Very good. So Eugene, Jashria, turn your cameras on, please. And hopefully you're all ready to continue with the third conditional. Danny Ashri, are you finding the third conditional easier compared to when we first looked at it?
Yes, teacher, but I still need more practice.
Yeah, well, that's good news is we're going to do more practice. So how about you, Chong? How are you feeling about the third conditional right now?
I feel all right.
You're feeling like you're getting the hang of it? Great. Okay. Jashria, same question.
I'm all right. It's just a little confusing.
But you feel like you're getting the hang of it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, good. All right. Carlson?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You're okay with it? Okay, Eugene?
Yep, I'm okay.
Brilliant. And Lynn?
I'm okay.
Brilliant. Well, that's great to hear that most of you are feeling confident on it. If you're not feeling confident or you feel you need more practice, that's fine too, because we're going to do some more practice. And if you are confident, it'll be good to just double check that you are definitely getting the hang of this. So back to these slides then. We're just going to go through and each person can have a go. So we already saw the sentence for the Titanic. So the Titanic hit an iceberg and sank. So we can change it to the third conditional. If the Titanic hadn't hit an iceberg, it wouldn't have sunk. So here's the story about this man. Oh dear. He stayed in the sun too long yesterday and got sunburnt. So who can say a third conditional sentence? Perhaps we can start with somebody who was feeling more confident. Turn this into the third conditional.
If he hadn't stayed in the sun too long yesterday, he wouldn't got a sunburn.
You were right the first time. He wouldn't have got sunburnt. He wouldn't have got sunburnt. Very good. Well done, Eugene. Great. Here it is. Okay, next scenario. He arrived late and missed the train. So let's turn that into the third conditional. Chong?
If he hadn't arrived late, he wouldn't have missed the train.
Great. If he hadn't arrived late, he wouldn't have missed the train. Exactly. She forgot her umbrella and got wet. Jashria, do you think you're ready to have a go at that?
I'll try, teacher.
Well done.
If she haven't forgot her umbrella, she wouldn't have gotten wet.
Good, but the first one is hadn't forgotten her umbrella, and then it's the next bit. That was correct. Well done, Carlson. Next one. So he's really angry. So oh dear, I hope nobody does this. So you punch the laptop. Goodness me,
If
hand's
he
gone right
was
through it.
angry, he wouldn't punch his laptop.
If he hadn't been angry, he wouldn't have punched his laptop. Perfect. Okay. She drank so much coffee yesterday she couldn't sleep last night. Have a go at that, Danny Astry.
I'll try, teacher.
Well done.
If she hadn't drank so much coffee yesterday, she would have gotten sh- um
She would have.
she would have gotten more sleep last night.
Yeah, she would have got more sleep, or she would have had a better night's sleep. Good. You need to stick to the past participle though. So if she hadn't drank so much coffee yesterday, if she hadn't drunk so much coffee yesterday, yes. If she hadn't drunk so much coffee yesterday, she would have been able to sleep last night. Final one. So she got a virus on her laptop because she didn't install an antivirus. Lynn?
If she, sorry, teacher. Teacher, can I skip? I have a strong throat.
Okay, that's fine. I hope you start feeling better. Last one then. Who hasn't? Has anybody not had a go on these ones? I think you all did. Eugene, try this one.
If she had installed an antivirus on her laptop, she wouldn't got a virus on her laptop.
She wouldn't have got a virus on her laptop. Good, well done. Or she wouldn't have got a virus. We don't have to repeat on her laptop because we already know that that's the subject. But well done, Eugene. Very good. Well done, everybody, actually. So definitely showing more understanding in this second half of the lesson of the third conditional. So well done. We'll return to your book and we'll put it again into practice. So let's have a look at number, what are we on now? Number 3. So we're going on to page 131 now. Yes. It gives you a little bit of information here that candidates often make mistakes with tenses in third conditional sentences. So you have to complete each of these sentences by writing the verb in brackets in the correct form. So they haven't given it to you how it should be. So if Martin had concentrated on his work, they're giving you the first bit. He, something, the verb to finish it earlier. Jashria, what do you think that one would be?
He would have finished it earlier.
Yeah, very good. Well done. He would have finished it earlier. Exactly. So everybody continue those. I think you're all, like you said, confident or nearly there. This will be a chance to just fully refine this skill. So write in the chat box when you've finished and then we'll all go through it, but it shouldn't take any longer than about 3 minutes. So Danny Ashry, you told me you're telling me the rules about the break. How many pages do you usually do of your workbook in one whole session? Or does it change?
I think it changes, teacher, because we don't usually count.
Okay. I wasn't gonna do a set number, but I didn't know whether we're aiming for about 2, but I didn't know if you usually do a lot more than that, in which case we'd speed up a bit. But
Oh, okay.
are you going at about the same speed as you normally do?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it. Thanks for the feedback. Well done, Chong. Can see you finished. Well done. Great. Okay, people are starting to finish. That's brilliant. All right, you all seem to finish around the same time. That's good. Don't worry if you haven't quite finished yet. Take another minute. Oh, you finished as well, then, Yasri. Okay, great. Well, I think you're all finished then in that case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Great. Okay, so number 2, please, Carlson.
if I know that the train was going to be so late, I would have catch an earlier one.
I would have, I would have catched. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Think about, so it's an irregular verb. I would have. We wouldn't say I catched the ball. I would have caught. I would have caught an earlier one. Sorry, it's a bit unclear there. Okay, so if I had known that the train was going to be so late, I would have caught an earlier one. Well done, Carlson. Okay, so next, please, Eugene, number 3. Eugene? Has Eugene vanished? Let's have Jashria then.
If there had been a swimming pool in the garden, I would have went swimming in it.
I would have gone swimming in it. Yeah, would have gone swimming in it. Did you say gone or went?
I actually said went.
Oh, okay, no problem. But because we're using the past participle, it's gone rather than, and sorry, past participle, that is why, yes. So the simple past went, past participle gone, would have gone. So just change that over, that's fine. Everyone check you're using the past participle. Eugene, you're back again. Do you want to do number 4 now?
Sure. John could have spoken to Emma if the phone hadn't been broken.
Hadn't been broken or had not been broken. We've got to use had or haven't. Hadn't, sorry. Had not been broken. Rather than, because have is the present tense, and we want to use the past perfect. Chong, can you do number 5, please?
Sure. We wouldn't have become friends unless you hadn't sat next to me on the school bus.
Unless you had sat. Unless you had sat. So it's saying, that's a confusing one, isn't it? We wouldn't have become friends unless you had sat next to me on the school bus. So maybe they met in the classroom and they made friends, but they're saying, oh, that would have never have happened unless you had sat next to me in the school bus, which is the other option. Slightly confusing one though, that one. Let's see, could Danny Ashtree, let's go back to you for number 6, please.
If you had been there, you would have enjoyed yourself too.
You would have, or you would have, yes, you would have enjoyed yourself too. Very good. Number 7, please, Carlson.
Sorry, I will not make so much noise if I know you were asleep.
Yep, good. And finally, number 8, please, Eugene.
We will not hear the burglar downstairs unless the dogs had barked.
Yeah, and where was have going?
We wouldn't have heard.
We would,
right?
wouldn't have, or would not have heard. Exactly. So don't forget, in all of these, you need have or had. We would not have heard. Well done, Eugene. The burglar downstairs, unless the dog had barked. What is a burglar, Eugene? What is that, a burglar?
I don't know.
Okay, anyone want to help Eugene out? Jump in there.
Teacher, a burglar is a robber or somebody who
robber,
robs.
yeah. Exactly, well done. And specifically somebody who enters properties. You wouldn't really, if somebody stole from your bag in the street, you'd call them a robber. You wouldn't call them a burglar, but a burglar is somebody who goes into houses and steals, or into buildings and steals things. Okay,
Do
final
they
one,
break
please.
into our house?
Sorry, Joshua?
Do they break into our house?
They break into a house and steal things. Yes, that's right. So Joshua, while you're unmuted, you can do the last one. Oh no, that is the last one. It's all right. Ignore me. Brilliant. Okay, so if you did have any mistakes there, then you could make sure you switch those over. So now what I want you to do, it says in pairs, but actually just have a time to think by yourself. You can choose one of these scenarios, and you're going to be ready to, I want you to be ready to share it with the group in a few minutes. So you can choose which one you're going to do. So these are questions this time. What would have happened? So you can use the third conditional as a question, question. What would have happened if you'd have got up an hour later this morning? Where was the last place you went on holiday? Here's the third conditional. What would you have done if you hadn't gone on holiday there? Number 3, what was the last exam you passed? What would have happened if you'd failed the exam? So choose a scenario. So I could say, if I had woken up an hour later today, I would have been late to start my first online class. Okay, so who's ready to share theirs? Yes, please, Lynn. Okay, Danny Asri, have you thought of your one?
Not yet, teacher. I'm still thinking.
Not yet. That's fine. Have a think. Okay, great. So Lynn's put one in the chat box. If I had woken up late this morning, I would have missed the bus. Chong, have you chosen yet?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. Share it with us then.
The last exam I had passed was an English exam. And if I had failed my English exam, I would have been devastated.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Good. Well done. Good. Just check your pronunciation of failed. We say the word, we drag the word out a bit longer. Failed. Say it again.
Failed.
Yeah, good. That's better. Okay. And Danny Astrid, did you think of one now?
Yes, teacher, for the second question, the last place I went on holiday was my aunt's house, which is a bit far away. If I hadn't gone there, I would have been stuck at home doing my work and doing revision, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well done. That's good. Sentence. Danny Astrid, where is that? So you say it's a long way away. Is it easier to say where it is?
It is in Malaysia. It's in Kuala Lumpur.
Oh, wow. I want to go there, actually. Very nice. Okay, Eugene, your turn.
The first question.
Okay.
If I would have missed the school bus if I got up an hour later this morning.
I would have missed the school bus. Try it again. I would have
missed the school bus if I had got up an hour. I would have missed the school bus if I got up an hour later this morning.
Had got up an hour later this morning. Good. I like the way you put it the other way around though, Eugene. Well done. Carlson?
I always forgot to put a had.
That's all right. So make a little note to yourself. Put a big word had somewhere on this page so you remember it. Carlson?
I would have missed the school bus.
If I had
Got up an hour late this morning.
Good. Has anybody not answered? Jashria, did you do it?
If I got up an hour later this morning, I would get a demerit for coming late, for coming late to school.
Okay, if I had got up an hour later this morning. Yeah, that word had, it's annoying, isn't it? But it has to go in there to be the third conditional. Okay, well done, everyone. So you can ask questions as well to get a third conditional response. If you want to know what somebody, it's good to get to know somebody better, isn't it? I can tell that Chong is very dedicated and keen to pass her exams, because she would have been devastated if she had failed. That was you, Chong, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can find out more about a person by getting their answers. Whereas if she'd have said, I wouldn't have cared, then we know that she's a person who doesn't take studying very seriously. But I can't imagine that. So it's good to get to know, it's a good way to get to know a person better. Okay, so let's see if we can have a go at asking a question. So you could ask a question like one in number 4. Has anybody got any good ideas? So you could say to somebody, if the restaurant had run out of your favorite food yesterday, what would you have done? What else could you ask somebody? If you had got a dog from the rescue centre, that's not going to work, actually. Ignore that one. I was going to say, which one would you choose, which actually isn't going to be the third conditional. So they're quite hard to come up with, these questions. You could say, if you had lost your phone last night, what would have happened? Maybe somebody was out and they could have lost their phone. I don't know why that would be. What else could it be? If you had missed the online class today, what would have happened? You wouldn't have learnt this wonderful third conditional structure. So have a think about questions, because that's quite a good way of also practicing it and getting a deeper understanding. So if we want to talk about the past and the present time, there we go, gets even more fun. In the same conditional sentence, you can combine, here we go, second conditional and third conditional. So these are 2 extracts again from listening part 1, which was last week. So which part of each sentence, A or B, is the second conditional and which part is the third conditional? So we want to look at which one refers to the present time, which is the second conditional, and which one refers to the past tense, which is the third conditional. So it's combining your understanding of tenses as well. So probably if we lived in a safer area, they wouldn't have bought a dog. I'd be happier if my parents had bought a house in the country. So remember, they both refer to unreal situations. So the second conditional refers to the present, third conditional refers to the past. And we don't ever have the first conditional in a mixed sentence. It's just not possible. So we're going to have a look at whether the clause refers to the present or the past time to decide which conditional to use. So here, A, this is the second conditional, the green one, because it is the second is the present time. If we lived in a safer area now, they wouldn't have bought a dog. That was what would have happened in the past. I'd be happier now in the present if my parents in the past had bought a house in the country. So the past can affect the present, and that's why we mix them. So that's a little bit complicated, isn't it? So you can have a go at practicing that by completing these sentences, and you have to write the verb in brackets again in the correct form. So either the second or the third conditional. Whew. So you've got 4 sentences. By the way, if you want to see any have a reference of this, I think on page 165 you've got an explanation about these tenses, so the third conditional at least anyway. Oh, here they all are, 164 and 165. So if you ever need to go back to these, or you want to go back to it to do this exercise, here it is, 164, 165, and the mixed conditionals. So there's more examples. All right, so let's go back to the one you're doing. Let's do one together. What page are we on there? Hold on, 100 and what were we on? 130. So, Eugene, read number 1. No, no, Eugene. Danny Astry, number 1.
Yeah, I'm not very sure, but I'll just try.
Yeah, have a go.
My dad doesn't have a car. Sorry. Yeah, my dad doesn't have a car, so he didn't drive me to my dancing lesson yesterday. If my dad had a car, he would have drove me to my dancing lesson yesterday.
Yeah, very good. Except you need to use the past participle, driven. He would have driven, but otherwise, well done. He would have driven me to my dancing lesson yesterday. So which bit is in the present tense? Which bit is in the present tense, Danny Astria, talking about the present?
Is it would have driven?
Would have driven yesterday. That's the past tense. So that's the third conditional.
So
because
it's
we're
had?
talking, yeah, and it's weird, isn't it? Because had is usually past tense, and
Yeah,
it
that's why I
is.
was confused.
It's really confusing, isn't it? This is hard. Actually, even as somebody who speaks English as a first language already, as my first language, is actually quite hard grammar, even for people who speak it naturally. You know, it's a mother tongue. So it's very challenging grammar that you're learning. It's great. Lived in a safer area. So yeah, so if my dad had a car, it's confusing, isn't it? Because it's kind of hypothetical. If he had a car now, so it's in the present, so it's talking about the present, so it's the second. So I was looking at the color code there, green and purple. Then yesterday he would have driven me to my dance lesson. So see if you can identify which bit is which as well. You can move on to the second part as well, number 7. It's the same idea, but you're using the verb each time. You can't change the verb. All right, well done, everybody. We seem to be finishing off at the same time again. We're working at about the same speed. Wonderful. So we'll go through those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. Yes, good. You're all finished. Great. All right. Well, let's go through to the end then. You've done such a good job today. Well done. So number 2, please. Danny Astry.
Katie feels nervous about the test because she didn't study last weekend. If she had studied, she would have felt nervous. She wouldn't have felt nervous about the test. Sorry.
Good. She wouldn't have felt nervous about the test. Very good. So we've got the second conditional, then the third conditional. Next, please, Chong.
Our dog barks too much, so we didn't take him on holiday with us. If our dog had not barked so much, we would have took him on holiday with us.
Yeah, if our dog did not bark, did you say?
Had not.
So this one is the second conditional because you're talking about what your dog is like now. So if our dog did not bark now so much, we would have taken him on holiday with us. The dog's still around, he still barks all the time. Would have taken. Let me just check that last one as well. If she had studied, she wouldn't have felt nervous about the test, or you could say she would not feel nervous about the test. So that would actually, let's make it that way round, would not feel, because that's the present. So you're trying to mix these. If she had studied in the past, she would not feel now nervous about the test. It's a bit harder, this, isn't it? Calson, number 4, please.
Carl was very rude to me, so we are no longer friends. If Carl wasn't the
Had
had not been
good, had not been, yeah.
rude to me, we would still be friends.
Very good. We would still be friends. Exactly. So we've got the past, then the present, referring to the present. Very good. So did you move on to the next lot as well, everybody? Great. Okay, Chong, do number 1 then, please. In fact, I think I've missed people out, haven't I? But I'll come back to you. Danny Asher, I'm going to have a look at that in a second. So number 1, please, Chong.
Marcelo often misses school, so his teacher did not let him go on the school trip. If Marcelo went to school more often, his teacher would have allowed him to go on the school trip.
Very good. Would have allowed him. Very good. I think it's Marcello as well. Would have allowed him. Perhaps an Italian name. Marcello. Okay, number 2, please, Jashria.
If we had left home earlier, we would not have missed the concert.
Good. If we had left home earlier, we would not have missed the concert. Very good. Number 3, please, Eugene. And Lynn, you could be writing the missing words for number 4 in the chat box, please. Eugene, we can't hear you for some reason.
If my geography teacher was, can I change the word to wasn't?
Nope, because it says you must use the same words, so make it mean the same thing.
If my geography teacher was not frightening.
No, you've got to use the word less. You've got to use the word less.
Oh, if my geography teacher was less frightening, I
Yeah.
would have asked her some questions.
Yep, good. Okay. And then Lynn has put, if the guide had, okay, it needs to be had spoken more slowly, past participle. If the guide had spoken more slowly, add the word slowly. Franz, so comma, Franz would not, what was the end there? I've lost it. Sorry, would have understood. So in answer to your question, Danny Ashtree, remind me what number 2, what your option was. I can't remember now.
My answer was wouldn't have felt.
Wouldn't have felt, that was it. Hold on, let me just think about that. Wouldn't have felt. If she had studied, she wouldn't have felt nervous about the test. How do you feels? Okay, I mean, it makes sense. And if you wanted to do the whole thing in third conditional, then yes, it would make sense. But the thing with the reason why I can't accept it, actually, even though it's really close to the same meaning, is that we want to say that she feels nervous now, not that she felt nervous in the past. So your answer tells us that she felt nervous in the past, but maybe doesn't anymore. Doesn't tell us that she feels nervous now. Do you see the difference?
Yes, teacher. Thank
Good.
you.
So great. So you do have to have the second conditional there, that she would not be feeling nervous about the test. But well done, everyone. I think you've done a really good job on that today. I'm very impressed with all of there's a lot of grammar for one lesson, and I really feel like you've really got the hang of the first, second and third conditionals, everyone. So well done. And next week, we'll move on to the next section within Unit 12 and focus more so on the reading and use of English. So there will be some grammar as well, but we'll be doing a lot more reading next session, which we haven't done as much of today. And we'll recap those conditionals to check that you have remembered. But well done. So just so I know for next week, is there anything that we did today or didn't do today that would be helpful for me to know for next week? So kind of feedback, really. Any feedback? So I can make the lesson next week better if necessary.
No, teacher.
No? All good? Was everything all right?
Yes.
Great. Well, that's good. It's been really lovely meeting you all. I've really enjoyed the lesson. Now we've got 2 minutes. So what we're going to do is use those 2 minutes. So you can't sneak away early. And we're going to just think of something you're going to think of the mixed conditionals. So you're going to think about something in your life now, in the present, that could have been affected by something in the past. So for example, you could say, if my mother hadn't changed her job, I wouldn't be living in this city right now. We're only living here because she changed her job. If I hadn't, it's a hard one to think of, isn't it? Everyone have a think. See if anyone can come up with one in the last minute. So if I hadn't read the advert in the job section, I wouldn't be teaching this class now. I saw the advert for teaching well, not this specific class, but teaching on this platform. So if I hadn't have read it and seen it, I wouldn't be teaching here now. Who can finish off the class with one? Anyone? Or maybe you can have a think of that one then, and we'll warm up with that next week. So be thinking, think of things that are happening now in the present that could have been affected by the past events. All right, but it's past, so we will stop there. We will come back to that next week. Lovely to see you all. I will see you all again next Monday. All right, bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you,
All right,
teacher.
bye-bye. Great job, everyone. Bye.